if you're over 40, over 50 years old, and you're going back to school right now, I just wanted to say how amazing that actually is. I know that it is tough to do these things, and people are going to tell you that you're crazy, and everybody's going to look at you like, what the heck are you doing? But what they don't realize is that there is so much life to live. There is years and years and years of life to live. What I want to remind you that when you're supposed to, you have this sort of story that you're supposed to retire when you're in your, when you're 65 or whatever, 50, freedom 55, whatever that is, whatever that number is. Remember, you're being marketed to, that there is a whole economic engine that is marketing towards you, that is trying to tell you that you should be living the high life at that moment. There's cookie cutter things, right? They have segments. And I want you to remind yourself this, that in marketing, they segment different portions of the population, and then they market to you certain things. And so, if you're in your 20s, guess what you get marketed to? It's freedom, it's fun, it's exciting. And then when you're in your, 30s and 40s, guess what you get marketed? It's stable, family life is amazing. And guess what happens when you're in your 50s and 60s and 70s? That you should be living the freedom that you want, that you should be able to travel, that life should be easy, that everything should come together, and you should have everything should be perfect at that moment. Because life is easy, obviously, at that moment. But what you don't realize is that, hey, you have a ton of life to live. And when you feel like that desire to live up to those expectations, it's because people are marketing to you. They know what those desires are, those little tiny desires that you have, and they exploit them. They blow it up. They make you feel like you should be acting in a certain way, so you feel extra, extra, extra bad about it. So if you are going back to school, if you're thinking of changing a career, if you are thinking of doing anything that is traditionally for somebody that's really young, it's a load of hogwash to feel guilty or to feel bad or any of those kind of things. And those people that are knocking you for doing that, they are totally misinformed. They don't realize that there's a tremendous amount of life to live. So let's say you're 65 years old and you live your average lifespan. That's still 20 years left. But if you're that person that's going back to school, you're probably living a healthy lifestyle, you're trying to get your act together, or you're trying to change your career, you still probably have much more longer than that. There's a lot of people that live until their hundreds. A lot now. So why would you give up and just sort of think that you're done at that moment because of some arbitrary number that somebody has given you? I think it would be completely wasteful for you not to do something that is really fun and exciting. Now, can I give you a piece of advice to think about as you're doing this? Don't do something simply because it's for money or stability or something like that. That's important. That's very important. Do something that you can do that, but as well love what you do and you find exciting and interesting. You're like, hey, I could do that for a little bit longer. So, as you're doing this, I'd also like for you to think about how you can become the hero in your story, and think about how you can tell your grandkids and tell everybody else that, hey, you can go back to school and it's fine. You can change your life and make a big positive difference in your life. What does that hero story look for you? And how does it actually turn the narrative in your family life around? Remember, these stories we tell ourselves are just stories, and we choose what that story is. We can change that story. And so if you want to go and become an astronaut when you're in your 40s, all of a sudden you think about that, that's awesome. Now, I don't think you're going to become an astronaut. However, I do think that you can work your way towards that goal and do really cool and exciting things as you're doing that. Why not, right? What do you have to lose? What's going to happen? That you could tell that story that you tried to become an astronaut and you tried to do that. That's kind of neat, I think. And I think that's also a really good positive message to tell everybody else around you just how cool that is. That you are constantly trying, even when everybody else thinks that you're done, you're washed up, it's game over for you. Heck, I hope I'm going to keep doing this until I'm 105. Guess what? I might live until I'm, 52 years old. But wouldn't that be a cool story to tell people that you tried to do this until you're 105 and everybody else got to see this, and then the last day that I live, I've been doing this, and somebody watches this, I'm going to have a really good really good day on social media, as Gary Vaynerchuk likes to say. And that's exactly it. But it's going to tell a story to everybody else that this person died trying. As, who is it? 50 Cent or whoever, one of those people told us. You got to just keep going, keep trying. What's the point of living if you're just going to give up on yourself? All right, take care and have a wonderful day.